Order this time, I'd like to welcome everyone to the June 3rd, 2024 board meeting. And at this time, ask Commissioner McCoy, she'll be kind enough to lead us to the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us all bow our heads, please. Dear Lord, we come before you this morning, just thanking you for another day. Lord, we ask that you guide us. Give us the knowledge, the wisdom, and the patience to make the right decisions for this county as well as for the citizens of this county. And Lord, I ask you to continue to bless each and every one of us and put a special blessing upon this board. This is my prayer. In your name I pray. Amen.
Amen. All right, this time, the chair would like to take a moment of privilege and recognize a Lillington City Council member who's with us today, Mr. McPhail. Say welcome. This time, is there any additions or deletions to the published agenda? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, Madam Chair. The consent agenda.
Mr. Chairman, point of order, if we could just have a motion and a second to that effect for the minutes.
I'm sorry.
We have a motion and a second.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion, we approve the agendas published.
Second.
I thought somebody else. I'm sorry. My mistake. We have a motion and a second. Correct? Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Now would you like to go to consent agenda?
Make a motion, we accept the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion has been made and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. All right, this time we're going to public comment period. And it's 3 minutes apiece. You'll see those of you who are new, there'll be a timer on the TVs. And we will not allow any profane language. We will not allow any personal attacks on you. Call up, go through the list as you signed up, and you'll each get your 3 minutes, and we'll do what your opinions are. At this time, Mr. Johnny Adams. Mr. Adams is a regular. I don't see him. Okay. Josie Miller.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to allow myself to be here. I'm on behalf of Word Church Lane, speaking in a fact-finding mission. Lived out there for 38 years. I have presented everybody with their copy of what I'm going to say, because I'm going to speak quickly because my 3 minutes is ticking. Thank you. Thank you for allowing myself this opportunity to address the board with my concerns and questions. Since I started my fact-finding mission, I must say everyone has been extremely helpful and nice. This month will mark 10 years that I've become a widow. My late husband started this project when he passed in 2014. He took a lot of knowledge with him. He started all this in 1985 with his first purchase of a 3-acre tract from the late Mr. Ed Bain. My late husband, Robert Miller, and I came together in 1987, continued this adventure 3 acres at a time. We continued to purchase each 3-acre tract, develop it, establish it, and move on to the next. What was 3 acres is now 18 acres and 8 homes that I own, 29 that I represent with all of my neighbors here from Word Church Lane. On May 23rd, I started with my fact-finding mission to learn more about what I don't know. I called the Harnett County Tax Office and I spoke with Nick. My concerns were that why are we being taxed the same amounts and comps with other communities while not receiving the same benefits of those taxpayers? We don't have state maintenance. I personally do it. I've been doing it for 38 years with my husband, who's now passed. I purchase gravel, crush and run, and use my own private John Deere tractor. That's a picture of me you'll see on the tractor. Nick explained that per the board commissions of since November 15th, 2021, we were giving a 10% tax break for living on a dirt road. We are taxed with Word Church Lane, as showing on the GIS, as a privately owned road by a Nelson T. Sutt. That if we had to cross over anyone else's properties to get to ours, we would be given an additional 25% tax break. I explained to Nick that all our deeds show that we own to the center of the road, and we are made to cross others' properties to get to ours. He said that GSI is showing and is showing that Mr. Sutt owns it, and he put me in contact with Michelle Temple. She advised that it would take her a while to make the needed changes. Then I was reached out to by Christine Wallace on May 30th in reference to all of this. She was very informative, shared a wealth of knowledge, and what had happened and what we could do to make the needed corrections. I also spoke with Mike from the board, and on the 23rd, he was extremely patient and helpful, pointed me in the direction to speak to Mr. Sykes with my other developmental questions that I do have, and provided me his phone number. So my questions overall was, how did the board come up with the percentage numbers that we are now working with? Why hasn't the GSI been updated to reflect properly with us as homeowners owning to the middle of the road? Why weren't we given the property tax percentage for all these years? Christine did say that she sees the mistakes and we can only go back 5 years to try to work with this. Why are we only allowed road assistance from the west side of our power lines? And I promise you all, I had a problem with left and right all my life. So we live on the west side and we can, can I get there 3
I
minutes?
tell you what, Mr. Morrow, would you see if you could help her after the meeting, please? Thank you. All right, Larry Mitchell.
Morning, Commissioners. My name is Larry Mitchell. I'm on 478 Century Drive in Cameron, District 1 voter. I'd like to talk about the last meeting you had, went down in the training room. I was trying to monitor the meeting using YouTube, but the volume was completely out. Couldn't understand what was going on. I could see the screens, but that needs to be looked at when you move down in the training room. Also, I've been volunteering as a litter pickup through the Soil and Conservation Office. I've been working on the secondary roads, and you'd be amazed what's out there in the litter. Volumes and volumes of alcohol, hard alcohol, beer, and so forth is out there. That tells you something what's going on with the public when they start tossing it out. Imagine litter was around since the Model T Ford came out when they put windows on them. But it's amazing. The last meeting you had on the budget, which is a concern of mine on every council meeting I go to, you had a piece of paper that came out and listed where the majority of funds are going in different categories. To me, I look at that as the priorities set by the commissioners. And I still don't know what each commissioner's priorities are. I go to the strategic plan, and that kind of gives you an overall setting of what the county priorities are, but for individual commissioners, it's important to me to know what your priorities are. For instance, schools, safety, utilities, things like that. So that would be great if you could publish that online so us citizens can view that. And that's also important when the voting time comes up. Again, my name is Larry Mitchell. Thank you very much.
Joe Langley.
Two minutes. There we go. Just want to make sure it won't take me that long. Joe Langley, 298 Kirk Adams Road. Good morning, Commissioners. I'm here today to address a matter that I think has been of some confusion regarding my recent request concerning the Nonprofit Funding Committee. First of all, I'd like to clarify that it was never my intention to suggest that the Nonprofit Funding Committee be replaced by another entity. I value the work of the Nonprofit Committee and the critical role it plays in supporting nonprofit organizations within our community. My intention has always been to enhance the capabilities of the committee, not to diminish or replace it. Specifically, I am proposing the addition of a new article to the bylaws that you're considering, of the Nonprofit Funding Committee. The new article is designed to allow the committee to receive private contributions from corporations and individuals, thereby enhancing the fund balance and increasing the resources available to support nonprofit activities in the county. Here's the proposed article to be added. It'd be Article number 9. The title is Private Contributions. Section 1, authority to accept private contributions. The Nonprofit Funding Committee is authorized to accept private contributions from corporations, individuals, and other entities to enhance the fund balance for supporting nonprofit activities within Harnett County. Number 2 is fund management. All private contributions received shall be managed in accordance with the committee's policies and procedures. The committee shall ensure these funds are used solely for purposes that align with the mission and objectives of the committee. Number 3, approval and oversight. The acceptance of private contributions shall be subject to board approval of the Board of Commissioners. The committee shall provide regular reports to the board regarding the receipt and utilization of private contributions. Number 4, Section 4 is transparency. The committee shall maintain transparency in the solicitation and use of private contributions. This includes acknowledging donors, providing regular financial updates, and ensuring that the funds are used in compliance with applicable laws and regulations. By incorporating this article, we can create a public-private partnership through the Nonprofit Committee that will significantly bolster the committee's ability to support the nonprofits that are so vital to our community. This partnership will enable us to leverage additional resources from the private sector, ensuring that we can continue to provide the quality of life for all citizens. I appreciate your time and consideration of this proposal, and thank you for your attention and your dedication to the well-being of the county. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Rebecca Brock.
Good morning, Commissioners. 5220 Christian Light Road. Rebecca Brock, you're here today to govern, to lead, to set the agenda, the pace, and the outcomes for the county. And I'm here today to call you on your actions to lead or to witness your non-actions. This is my chance to speak about the work session where several options were discussed about the school board's low wealth allotment shortfall of $5.7 million. The difference of $7.2 million between what the school board requested and what you're recommending was not discussed. Neither one of these issues is on today's agenda, yet you have to approve the agenda by month's end. Look, Commissioners, our low-performing school system needs financial help to become that first-rate school system that most of you came from, and only you guys can pull the trigger. The students go to school to learn, the teachers teach, the parents to parent, the school administration to provide, the principals to guide, but it's up to you to act. And I'm not seeing any public discussion between you and what the school board about what monies are truly needed to improve our low-performing school system, eliminate the possibility of a reduction in force, and fulfill your spoken commitment to a better education in Harnett County. Parents are too busy to come to these meetings, so that's why people like myself with gray hair, grandparents do. And we come to watch you act or not. Thank you.
Okay. This concludes our public comment period. Pass it down. Okay, this time we'll move on to item number 6. Discuss a request regarding the John Rouse Scholarship Fund.
Oh, Sorry, Chairman. The information that we presented in the packet relates to the fact that staff reviewed the request and whether it was allowable per our funding regulations to be able to provide the requested donation. Legal has determined that it relates to an educational purpose. Therefore, the board could approve a contribution of $8,000 or any amount thereof to Campbell University in support of the scholarship that is being set up for Mr. John Rouse.
Question. Would this be a one-time donation?
Yes, ma'am.
And it will come out of this year's budget, not next year's.
Yes, that's our intent.
Make a motion, we approve this contribution of $8,000 to complete the scholarship fund at Campbell University in memory of John Rouse.
I second.
Okay, there's been a motion made and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, Madam Clerk. Okay, number 7, the opioid task force and settlement dollars information session for local municipalities.
All right, good morning, Commissioners. First, we want to start off by doing an update from our opioid task force. We haven't done that in a few months, so we want to give you an update on where we are. At the close of it, we'll obviously answer any questions that the board may have, but we also want to open it up to any of our municipal representatives that are here this morning to provide input on how we use our settlement dollars. So but I'll jump into just the update that we have here first. And I'm not sure if we discussed it before, but we do have a new, it's not called a logo, what do we call it? Icon, sorry. A new icon to separate this out just from the county. It's obviously a county entity, but we created this new icon that includes the SOLVE approach on there, which is our strategic plan. And then it's supposed to represent hope and recovery between the sunshine and the lotus flower. So this was voted on by the opioid task force as the new icon to represent us. Let's go to the next one. There we go. Let's turn it on. Okay. So again, just a brief review on the settlements themselves. So overall, the national opioid settlements resulted in a number of lawsuits in multi-district litigation, totaling more than $50 billion to be paid over 18 years across the country. Now, the Harnett County's portion of all the settlements will be a little over $11 million. Again, will be distributed over 18 years. So far, at this point, we have received about $2.5 million has gone to a separate fund that we're account for, and we will issue resolutions as well, we'll present resolutions for adoption as we figure out how to spend this money. So far, out of that money that we have received, this board has allocated $215,000 to be allocated to the medication-assisted treatment MOUD program at the Harnett County Detention Center to be used for the clinical social worker over there and also for treatment at the jail. And then recently, if you recall, we just allocated $20,000 to be able to purchase Narcan for community distribution, which would also include distribution to the school system. And currently, that $20,000 can be spent starting July 1. I've been working with Ms. Ainsley Johnson regarding a policy on how to, on entities that would qualify for Narcan distribution. Also, it's not on the slide, but I do want to bring up, I just received information last Thursday or Friday that there's actually going to be another settlement with Kroger. I'll present that at a later date with some documents to approve that. But my calculation of that would be another $355,000 to the county, and that would be paid over 11 years. So moving on to timeline. Again, starting on the timeline from the last time we did an update with the board. So in September 18, 2023, we did a public input on our strategic plan. October 19th, we had our opioid task force meeting. October 23, we had the Building Bridges Initiative kickoff, which was for the MOUD program at the jail. That's for programs across the country that could participate, that's focused on that type of strategy. In November of 23, this board did adopt our strategic plan, which is again deemed the SOLVE approach. In December, we graduated from the Reaching Rural program, and we were awarded $98,000 for the MOUD program at the jail as part of our participation in that program. In December 23, our Jail Reentry Navigator began. That's the clinical social worker, and the title is Jail Reentry Navigator. So she began over there to start preparing for implementation of phase 2 of our MOUD program over there. I think Coley will talk more about that. And in January of 2024, we launched our new subcommittee and executive committee structure, which I'll let Coley talk about that structure.
Sure. Good morning, Commissioners. So as part of our strategic plan, you can see on this particular slide how our executive committee is set up. It's myself and Chris Sapero, the co-chairs, Allie Fouts Gaines is our coordinator, Ainsley Johnson, the health director, and Captain Jeff Armstrong with the Sheriff's Department. So it's broken off into 3 different subcommittees. Number 1 is Education Prevention Subcommittee. Co-chairs are Dr. Jermaine White with the school system, Dr. Rosa Smith-Williams, and then you have a Treatment and Recovery Subcommittee, which is co-chaired by Dr. Robert Agnello and Amy Godwin, and then Harm Reduction is the 3rd subcommittee, which the co-chairs are Dr. David Tillman with Campbell University and Larry Smith with our EMS department. So the executive committee reviews the funding proposals from the subcommittees, and if the executive committee votes to approve the funding proposal, it goes before the opioid task force and then comes before each of you, the Harnett County Board of Commissioners. So you can kind of see the structure of how that is put together. That seems to be working extremely well, and we've been very pleased with this process as we've just you just approved $20,000 from Narcan distribution, so that was the first milestone that we saw. The timeline continuing on as far as February of 2024, monthly subcommittee meetings began. March 7, the Recovering Hope Conference was a very good success. I think Commissioner McCoy and Chris attended that. Very, very well attended and very good information shared there. April 11th, the executive committee reviewed and unanimously approved naloxone funding. And then the 18th, the opioid task force unanimously approved that. May 1st was jail launched phase 2 of MAT-MOUD. And then May 6th, the county commissioners adopted a resolution to allocate the settlement funds to community-based naloxone distribution. And then, as Chris mentioned, the county commissioners voted to accept $98,000 in the Reaching Rural grant, and the funding to that went to the jail reentry navigator's salary.
Okay, so I wanted to talk about our main accomplishments today and going through each of our subcommittees there. So prevent harmful substance abuse. So far, the Harnett County Schools has hired a clinical social worker to help serve their students. Campbell University and local faith leaders led the Recovery Hope Conference. Again, as Coley mentioned, that was a very good conference. We had a lot of buy-in from our faith-based leaders that were there to start pushing towards participating in this effort, since a lot of the community does go through the churches here, so they're a very important piece of this puzzle. And then continued collaboration with community and faith-based organizations that we've been working with. Support treatment and recovery. Again, the Sheriff's Office initiated phase 1 of the MAT-MOUD program in the jail last year. And that was, phase 1 was continuation of anyone that was on medication as they came into the jail, and then as they came in, they would continue all that medication. So that was phase 1. Then, as mentioned, Sheriff's Office hired the Jail Reentry Navigator to provide critical support and help get phase 2 started. Phase 2 was started in May, and that phase 2 is induction of new patients into MAT-MOUD treatment. So anyone that came into jail will go through a list of questions and they answer them. If they were actively using or going through withdrawals or whatnot, and they were a candidate based on the charge that they had, they could voluntarily enter into this MAT-MOUD program. I know the last time we spoke to individuals in jail was about a week or 2 ago. I know they've already had a couple individuals go through that to be inducted into that program, so it is up and running. And then the community paramedicine program continues to provide support to individuals in navigating substance use disorder. And big thing that they started doing is they are able to start an individual on a treatment program, so to start receiving medication and get them set up with an appointment so they can continue on. So that was a big step for them, is that they can start administering that medication. And then reduce harm. The Health Department distributes free Narcan to individuals and community-based organizations. And again, with the additional $20,000, we're going to be able to increase that. Again, that second bullet point, using the $20,000 that you all just allocated for community distribution, and again, to be able to use for schools as well. Harnett County Schools has equipped each campus with Narcan, which is a very big thing. I think our school system was the first, I would say first or one of the first in the state to start doing that. Harnett County Schools has trained over 100 staff members to administer Narcan. It continues to train more. Another big thing that they're working on is the Harnett County Schools is preparing to launch their pilot program for Narcan kits on school buses. So that's going to begin in the fall. And we are going to provide them the Narcan to be able to put that on the school buses. And then county staff has arranged to receive an allocation of free Narcan from Alliance Health, and that's going to be over 300 doses that Alliance Health is going to be able to give us. So great partnership there with our new MCO.
Okay, so you see a lot has happened since our last update. So what's next? Collaborating with our health department, Ms. Ainsley Johnson is doing an excellent job coming on board. And I would like to just thank Ms. Rouse and Campbell, the job that Mr. Rouse did as far as putting this forward. He was so instrumental in making this happen and going through the Reaching Rural program. So I just thank him immensely for all the work that he did, and so glad the scholarship is continuing on in his name. So the coordinating peer support services with the help of Alliance, Chris did mention that. We've been very pleased with that relationship. They have been very instrumental attending all these meetings that we've had with the task force, and just providing a wealth of information and knowledge to help us out. And by beginning the 24-25 school year, Harnett County Schools intends to train all Harnett County staff members to administer Narcan and launch a pilot program for Narcan kits on all the school buses, as Chris mentioned. And then collaborating with community members to support a parent advocacy group, and then expanding post-overdose response team. As Chris mentioned, the community paramedic is starting to ramp up, and we are very pleased with the progress that we are having there. So with that being said, that's kind of where we're at, and I know Allie wanted to talk briefly about an exciting launch of our website.
Yes, thank you. We are so excited. So we are so excited to share that we have launched our new website with our own domain. It is found at solveharnett.org, and all community members, each of you, are invited to scroll through and check it out. You can see here, this is just the main page. Melissa, I don't know if I remember to hyperlink that. Could you try to click that, see if it comes up? No? Okay, that's fine. Anyway, I invite you all to scroll through. I just included the screenshot here, so you can see up front and center is our strategic plan, which was approved last November. And so you can download that. I strongly encourage everybody to view that. There's lots of really good information in there about what we're doing and what we plan to do, and where all of these efforts are coming from and why we're doing what first. And then the next slide, the little yellow squares, not slide, sorry. The next section with the little yellow squares is just resources that we have been compiling and sharing. And so this is, or a longer version of this presentation is actually linked in that overview. So you can see actually our timeline going all the way back to the very beginning. If you want to click on that PDF, and then, yeah, we will continue to update this website with our documents, our efforts, and everything. So we are really excited. And the last, I guess, request that I would have is for our towns, municipalities, for community members, for each of you to visit the resource booklet little square. If you click on that link, you can download the beginning of our draft of a resource booklet, which we will be professionally printing to distribute within the community. And so we want to pile that with as many resources as we possibly can. So far, I've just included information more about opioid use disorder and just the basics of it all, responding to an overdose, how to use Narcan. And I have a start of the list of resources, but I know we have a lot of really good community groups. We have a lot of amazing healthcare in this county, and so I just want to make sure that's all piled in that booklet. So all are welcome to visit that booklet, give me feedback on what you see so far, and suggest additional information, additional resources to include in that. So yes, the website is live. Please feel free to visit, and thank you all so much for your time.
Holly, would you send a link for that booklet you're talking about?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Really appreciate Ally's effort in getting this up and running. This has been a big thing that we wanted to do. A lot of our members in the task force wanted this website to be able to go, and so everyone can visit, see what our strategic plan is on the resources. This is going to be a work in progress, so we've got all some of the basic information up there, but we're going to be adding a lot more onto this. But this is a great first start. It looks great.
Mention one thing while you just said that. First of all, let me thank each of you for your support in helping us with this, and especially Commissioner McCoy and Commissioner Weatherspoon for serving on the task force. But we were fortunate enough to, the second phase of Reaching Rural is underway, and so now Harnett County is going to be a host site in August. So we're bringing 35 folks from around the country, and we're going to have a 2-day assembly here with an agenda that we're going to share what Harnett County has done over the past 18 to 24 months. So we're very excited about that opportunity and being kind of in the spotlight about where we're at. So just wanted to share that with you.
And so before I do open up to municipalities, I did want to know if there's any questions from the Board of Commissioners on anything we've done to this at this time.
Well, I have questions. Is it all right?
Yes, ma'am.
First of all, before I ask questions, I want to thank you all the committee that has worked on this and put it together from the very beginning. And that was like in 2022, am I right about that?
Yes, ma'am.
I want to thank you for the work that you've done. You've done outstanding work. But I have a few questions. One of the questions is, Harnett County is being named across the state as #1 as moving this program. Why haven't we been on the TV? I see Cumberland County, all the other counties with North County. I mean, with this project here on the TV, so you guys got to get on the move, getting the word out to what you're doing.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate that. We actually have. Scripps came here and spent a day with us and did a interview with us. Gosh, it was about 6 hours that we went all over the county. I actually send you that link. It's about a 3-minute video. It's really neat the way they kind of looked at Harnett County and what we were doing as a rural county and the strategic process that we're going through. We could have taken this settlement dollars and just bought Narcan and been done, but we decided to do a strategic plan and put all this together to try to help, and that's what this symbol is about as far as hope and recovery. But yeah, I'll be glad to send you that link.
Well, I want you to send on and see us on the TV. I mean, you're doing great work, and let me say this. The reason I'm involved in it because it's a huge problem here in Harnett County. I mean, and I think everybody sitting here know what a problem we have with opioids and drugs here. Another thing is, I wanted to ask you, I don't see the clinic in Dunn that assists in those patients in Dunn and those young people that are involved in drugs and all of that. And I know that they do great work, but I see nowhere in this study where you have given them Narcan or anything about them. And that the psychiatrists have been to several of our meetings.
They were represented on the board.
Represented on the board, yeah. So I see nothing here. And I think probably that Dunn, just like all the rest of the municipalities here, they in need of some of that Narcan.
Right. And I will say, so this is a kind of a brief update. When you go to our webpage, we do have all of our partners on there. So Morse Clinic it'll show up on there. That's the clinic that's in Dunn that's helping provide treatment. and a number of our other partners, Daymark and some others. So we have a lot of partners that we have listed that we're, want to get the name out there. Two, as far as we work on the website as well, is we're going to list out everything our partners and community organizations do, all the work they do. So it's going to be, it is a work in progress, but we want to highlight everything that all the groups in this community are doing for us.
But I think that's important simply because those people in Dunn, those citizens in Dunn that needs this benefit needs to know that it's there for them.
I totally agree.
Another thing I wanted to mention is you distributed Narcan all over well, not all over, but in certain areas. And all of these areas I think is very important, especially for the health department. And I want to say to Ms. Rouse, I work with John. I am real pleased with the history that he left behind with this project and all. But why haven't you distributed any? No, I won't say that. Why haven't you? I'm gonna say, have you? Have you distributed any of these Narcan supplies to the PAL in Littleton, Boys and Girls Club in Littleton?
No, I don't think we've done the actual distribution to them. Now, again, as we work on the policy with Ms. Johnson, all these groups are going to be eligible to be able to distribute to them. We do have some nonprofits that are on our task force that are already getting some allocations of Narcan and doing events across our county and trying to distribute it. So yes, part of our goals of the strategic plan in purchasing $20,000 worth of Narcan is to get this out as much as possible. I know the health department just did an event with some barbershops to train them and get Narcan in barbershops. Because again, it's an area that a lot of individuals visit or that are close by in the community. So there is an ongoing effort. Of course, we want everyone to have Narcan in this community, but yes, there is going to be so we haven't done it yet, but yes, there'll be a focus on trying to get all of our partners and organizations to have Narcan in their facilities.
And I have one more suggestion. In order for you to get it into the black community, I suggest that you work with the minority churches, and I know I'm sitting on that education committee, but you need a flyer to get into the churches, to let them know about this, because many people don't know about the program, many people don't know about what we're doing.
Right.
I would suggest that you put together some kind of flyer or some type of information to take it into the churches. I'd be glad to help distribute it.
That'd be great. And we are at that Hope Recovery Conference they had at Campbell. We did have a number of black churches there to help represent us. And of course, on the task force, we have Dr. Rosa Smith-Williams and Bishop Hinton, who are very big proponents of this and are really helping. So yes, there is ongoing effort to try to get the churches involved because, again, so many of our community members go to churches. They're there. So the churches are a powerful group that can help with this issue.
Well, not only minority churches, all the churches.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because this is a problem. This is a problem that consists of all of us.
That's right.
All the young, not all young people, but all of our citizens.
Right. We want as much participation as possible, and we're doing outreach, and Dr. Tillman at Campbell is doing a fantastic job of trying to lead that effort.
Commissioner, I would also say I thank you for your questions and your comments. This is actually perfect timing because this allocation is going to start July 1. So we're trying to do a better job with our website, the flyers, and getting out in the community. And when we have our next opioid task force quarterly meeting in July, that what you just mentioned is going to be brought up about how we can allocate that better.
Thank you so much. I'm only asking these questions because
Very good question.
I mean, it concerns us all. It concerns everybody in this room, so.
Exactly.
And I want to see this, you're doing a great job.
Well, thank you.
I want to see us being highlighted like Cumberland County. Thank you.
Any other questions to answer? Okay. Well, as I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, so pursuant to the memorandum of agreement we have with the state, we are required to at least annually invite our municipalities to provide input on the use of our settlement dollars. So we did send out an invite, and I know we have some municipal representation here. We would like to open it up and give them a chance to comment on anything that's been presented here today, or strategic plan on how we use the settlement dollars. So again, would like to open up and encourage their participation. But again, outside of this, we always welcome comments. So if any of the municipalities want to provide any input or participate, we always welcome them. So, but again, just want to open up to any leadership that's here today.
You good? You okay? Okay. So that was just an opportunity. As Chris mentioned, our next opioid task force meeting is the third Thursday at 2 o'clock in July. We'll be glad to send any information. You're welcome to come to that. It's open to the public. And so we appreciate your time this morning and thank you for your support.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, I believe the next thing is the county.
Thank you, Chairman. Just a couple things related to the budget. Today, Budget Director Lisa McFadden left some changes that have been made to the budget. They are technical corrections based on items that have been determined that need to be adjusted. So that provides you some information on things that we found as we've gone through and continue to process and make changes leading up to approval. I'll be putting out later this week a memo that will list the outstanding items that we've had discussions about, whether we want to do or not. We've discussed some of them before, but the next meeting on June 11th will be the meeting to try and figure out the direction from the board as it relates to how we want to address those items. And we'll have that discussion with continued effort to hopefully gain approval at the June 17th meeting of our budget for fiscal year 25.
Okay. Questions?
Oh, you need approval of the budget amendments, excuse me.
Make a motion to approve the budget amendments requested by the finance officer.
Second. Motion has been made, properly seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, Madam Clerk. Now, under new business, consider approval of a memorandum of understanding between the City of Dunn, the United Ministers Association, Inc., and the Harnett County of Harnett.
Karen? This memorandum of understanding, as mentioned, is between the City of Dunn and the Dunn United Ministerial Association. This relates to a room or a part of a facility that DUMA has where the health department will be providing services. This is a no-cost agreement to utilize this space. Relates to a prior agreement that was made in 2012 where they would provide a space. And so at this point, it's an adjustment. New memorandum of understanding based on the change in location, and we request approval of this agreement.
And it's no cost to Harnett County.
Correct.
I make a motion, we approve this agreement.
Motion has been made, properly seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, Madam Clerk. Mr. Counselor, is there a need for a closed session?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Make a motion that we adjourn.
No, I would like to say something before we adjourn. I want to thank Mr. Joe Langland for coming back and explaining exactly what he was proposing for the board. That's for us to consider whether we accept that or not. But I couldn't understand the proposal that we heard here in our last meeting. Yes, I did get kind of upset about it because I don't believe in taking our taxpayers' dollars and giving it to other organizations to use or to distribute, even though we were going to get part of it back, whatever. That's what was being said. I think that I depend on the citizens of this county being a part of everything we do because we represent them. So I just had to say that. And appreciate you, Joe. Appreciate what you did. And so we move forward, whatever we decide to do with this. Thank you.
Any more comments from the board?
Motion on the floor, sir.
Motion to?
Adjourn? I'm sorry, I didn't hear it when you said.
There's a motion on the floor.
Motion to adjourn.
Yes.
Second? Motion has been made, properly seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. They're adjourned.